Hey yo guys, what's good, what's happening, and what's going on, and welcome back to yet another episode of Commenting on Comments. This week we have a bit more comments to cover than last week. We got 24 this time around, and some of them might involve the Mike Tyson fight that happened last weekend. So let's pitter patter and have at her, shall we? Our first comment today is from To Save a Bloke, and they say, there's still a lot that needs to be done with making power grids EV ready, but some places do have smart systems in place that can use cars hooked up to the grid, essentially UPSs on four wheels with vehicles to grid backfeeding to help balance the grid loads and provide a base load on grids that suck from lack of investment. When everything's all boiling down to billing us extra for things that aren't being done, yeah, there's a lot of piss being taken. Apparently I didn't copy this comment right because there's a read more and I didn't expand it. But my only concern about backfeeding from cars is, what if you plug your car in overnight, charge it, and it's charged, and then it starts backfeeding back into the grid, and then you wake up in the morning and you only have 60% of your charge. Are you getting that money back on your hydro bill? Probably not. So I don't really think that's the best solution either. We need to come up with a way to generate more electricity. We need to have a way to transport said electricity, because there are situations where we pull too much and the grid goes down in a certain location because one of the power stations can't handle the amount of draw. We still got a lot of work to do before everybody on this planet can be driving electric. Corvettes 1658 says, my dad drives a 2023 Kia Niro EV. He gets around 255 miles of range if he charges the battery to 80%, which you should do because it keeps charging. If you keep charging to 100% all the time, it could affect the battery's life. But if he charges up to 100%, like if he's going to go on a trip, then it will get 275 miles of range. So that's 20 miles difference between 80 and 100. So okay. And my dad loves his EV because loves the power and how smooth it is. He said he's never gonna get a gas car again. And you know, I know some people that are like that. They love their EVs, but it all depends on where you live too. Like, the biggest problem with an EV up here is on extremely cold days, because you need to run the heat in the car, and the heat's gonna run off electricity. The motor is going to run off electricity. Everything in the car runs off electricity, and you have a limited amount of electricity in said vehicle to pass around, which is why I've seen, like, my friend has a Tesla Model 3. Yeah. And in the summer, he can get 575 kilometers to a battery load. And then in the winter, he's lucky to see 170, 175 because the HVAC system just chews the battery rate up. So it all depends on your climate. They need to come up with a better way to heat it. Like I said, I mentioned to him, like, why don't you get like a UPS, like my 2400 watt and put a like a little electric heater in there and just have it time it to turn on. Like, they do sell these battery packs that you can set a timer on it to turn on and engage the equipment. So just do that, and that way there it can heat up the car without actually, you know, activating the climate control system, prolonging the battery of the car, so you can get more trips out of it in the winter without having to waste electricity to heat the climate up. He's going to give it a go. We'll see how that works out. Mike Deshane 3919 says, don't get me started on the grab for donations at the checkout stores. All these $2 donations will get sent to the charity as one large donation by Loblaws or whoever, and they get the tax break for the donation. I refuse to give to those anymore. Yeah, that's exactly it too. That's what it is. They take the money, they go and invest it into the charity. They get the receipt for it. They get the write-off. And yeah, I have a better idea. Why don't Loblaws take a portion of their profits and donate that to charity? Why do we got to be guilted in? Oh, you know, it's only $2. You're going to help feed someone. Why do we got to be guilted into that when CEO of Loblaws is grossing mad money? Why don't you take some of that mad money and invest it yourself, bud, and then you can actually earn that tax break. Just saying. Search for the Truth One says, maybe stop electing globalist, limp-wristed boys to run your country. And he's like, not you personally, Adam, rather Canadians. And no, that is a fact. The fact that Trudeau has won 3 elections back to back. I don't understand it. The guy's no good. I don't understand how he's constantly getting back in. It doesn't make sense. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. However, I'm hoping with this upcoming election, there will be a change, because with the US now getting Trump, well, not yet. He comes in January 6th. Trump already said he can't stand Trudeau, that he's not going to help Canada as long as Trudeau's in power, which a lot of Canadians are taking different ways. Some are like really upset by this. Others are like taking it as a threat. Others are like, well, don't worry, bud. Just wait till like October when we can finally go to election, unless it happens sooner, because there was talk of that. But if it doesn't, October 2025, we go to the polls. He's got to go because he's costing us too much damn money. Way too much damn money. This carbon tax is killing us. Kronkus36 says, John Deere scrapped that idea after Trump said he'd put a tariff on them if they did when he gets in. What he's referring to is, I mentioned in a video in the past about John Deere basically moving their base operations to Mexico. So they're going to lay off their entire US staff and move fabrication to Mexico and start producing it on the cheap. And then Trump turned around and said, if you freaking do that, we're putting a tariff on your products. You're going to pay out the arse. So good on Trump for that, because come on. Neo Anderson J2P says the USA is actually larger in land area at 9,148,000 square kilometers versus Canada at 9,094,000 kilometers. Also, the total population of Canada is equal to the population of the state of California. Your entire country population is our one state. Canada is larger in total area when including water, not land. Yeah, the other problem with Canada is a lot of our territory is not comfortably inhabitable. Like all the northern areas, you wouldn't want to like purposely move there, because come winter, you'd freeze and it would suck. Like you want to stick to central and southern and avoid northern Canada, because yeah, no bueno. The US doesn't have that problem, because even in their northern states, the weather sucks, but nowhere near as northern Canada does. Troy Hunt 7847 says, the deep government is real and has been, but there's so many people and social media that it can't be kept secret. Things are getting out. Yeah, I've been hearing a lot about that too on both social media, YouTube and all that. The One World movement and all that stuff. A lot of people were saying that President-elect Trump was the one behind this Project 2025. I didn't even know this thing existed because it was never brought up to me before. And then somebody brought it up to me and I'm like, what are you even talking about? It sounds like your tinfoil hat's on too loose, or too tight, sorry. So I went and looked it up and went, oh, this, okay. But unfortunately, I found it on a liberal endorsed site. So of course they're just bashing Trump on it. But you do some more digging and you realize that it's actually not Trump's policy. It's just something a bunch of elites came up with and are trying to push. Fortiery Rock says, tops in Buffalo, $12 for 2 steaks that look like they've been pre-eaten. Bet my belt would taste better. Did you see the cuts of beef that I got for $37? They didn't look too healthy, but they were definitely not a healthy cut of beef. But that's what's happening up here in Canada is certain meats like beef. Pork isn't too bad, but it's still pretty expensive. Don't get me wrong on that. They're saying it's due to the fact that they didn't have a good feed for this winter's cows in Canada, but like we probably import a lot of meat too. I don't think all of our meat comes from Canada. We probably import some beef from the US, and well, maybe not anymore since we stopped carrying a lot of US products in Canada. Like there was certain pizza brand, I think it was Mama de Casa or something like that. I can't remember now, but we've dropped a bunch of like Michelinas. We don't carry those anymore because they're US. They're trying to get Fairlife out of the stores because it doesn't follow Canadian guidelines and apparently has a bunch of hormones in it that are dangerous for human consumption and all that fun stuff. So yeah, we're getting hosed on beef, that's for sure. Bloody Moaned 472 says, Adam, does Stevie Wonder cut your hair? No, bud, it's Helen Keller. Thanks for asking. Berserk says, understand that you have no time for gaming, but do miss the gaming videos. I watch them whenever I see them go up or go live. Yeah, it's once winter hits and I don't go outside much anymore, chances are gaming will pick up. I posted a couple on Skaven Games to see if it was even worth it, and the amount of views that they're not getting, that channel's pretty much dead. So I'm thinking that, or my editing sucks. I don't know. I thought I did good with the thumbnails and that to attract at least some partial clicks, but no, they're not doing great. So I might just abandon that idea and just stick to live streaming and not worry about making live gameplay. Maybe I'll take any funny moments from the gameplay and make YouTube shorts, but that's about it. But yeah, there'll be some more live streams coming up. I've been thinking about revisiting Red Dead because apparently my save game saved, go cloud saving on Steam. Nice. So I need to finish that game off because I kind of left that there like 2 years ago and haven't revisited it. So that might be a thing. All right, our next comment from Ha8X. 8X? I don't know. Said Hero was so nervous about doing this before, a piece of cake. What they're referring to is the RAM upgrade and SSD NVMe M.2 replacement on the Acer Loser Nitro Suckface gaming computer. Yeah, it's really easy. It's replacing RAM and replacing the SSD replacing any of that shit nowadays is so easy compared to what it was back in the day. Any of my legacy hardware people out there, do you remember when we would install your master drive and your slave drive and you'd have to set your jumpers correctly or it just wouldn't boot? Or when you would replace your processor, you had to either move a jumper to select the right clock speed and step count, or you'd have to flip dip switches to set your clock speed and your multiplier and all that. I remember those days. I really remember those days. Actually, I go as far back as the 8086 when the clock speed was regulated by a quartz crystal, and we decided to be brain dead and replace the 4.7 megahertz quartz crystal with a 20 megahertz quartz crystal, put the biggest heatsink we could find from an electronics store on it, and then take a house fan and blow it right on the motherboard, and we were able to run the machine for 30 minutes before it completely failed. And the wasn't really a socket back then. It was more like it was pretty much soldered right to the board, the chip, and like it was like an IC with pins. It had maybe 30 pins on it, and then you had your mount, your chip, your IC mount. You clip it in there, but some of them were actually physically soldered directly to the board, and you couldn't replace them. Yeah, we cooked it. We cooked it good. It was fun. Jay Gooby says, could you make a playlist of commenting on comments? Bro, there is a playlist of commenting on comments. It's on the channel. And this goes way back to when I used to do it a long ass freaking time ago in a galaxy far, far away. I think I actually had an intro. Yeah, we're not going to use that intro ever again. Tito says, the real fight was between Netflix and my Wi-Fi. You know what? This is referring to the Mike Tyson fight, and that is true. A lot of my friends said that they were watching it at home and on their TV, and it cut out, but then they just grabbed their phone on their phone's data plan and loaded up Netflix, and were able to watch the fight flawlessly. I honestly question if it was network congestion from the ISP, like the internet service provider, or if the Netflix servers were actually taking a shit, because some people online didn't complain one bit about lag or latency or watching it at 144p, and other people were like, it kept cutting out every 3 minutes. So I wonder if it was more of an internet service provider issue versus a issue with Netflix. I don't know. But man, it got pretty bad. Lumklein3075 says, fake Jake. Jake probably reached out to Mike and said, hey, want to make some quick cash? You have to let me win. We'll get rich. Yeah, you could tell that fight was fake. Like, there was so many times when Tyson had the perfect opportunity. He'd even come in with a jab and he's ready to set that hook up, and he'd either A, throw it short, or B, he would partially throw it and then retract. And it's like, what are you doing? What are you even doing? And there was one time when he forgot and he actually came in and he connected pretty good with Jake Paul, and Jake Paul stumbled back, and the look on his face was like, what the hell? We're just playing, bud. That was a real major upset. But apparently Netflix might be getting sued over this fight. I don't know. I just saw something online about it. Didn't really diverge too much into it, but or divulge even too much into it. But apparently that might be a thing. So cool. John X 6020 says, what a world we live in when the cost of everything for hardworking Americans is through the roof for everything, while two guys performed a Broadway boxing play for 16 minutes, made a combined $60 million. I know, right? I know. Like, it's ridiculous. It blows my mind. It's dumb, but what can you freaking do, right? Oh, I don't know what the hell happened in this world where things became so damn expensive that necessities became expensive, like food, utilities, like stuff to heat your house and keep the lights on, and gasoline for your car so you can get to work, so you can make money to buy more, you know? All that shit's gone up in price, but you look at stuff you don't need, like televisions, cell phones, game consoles. I'm trying to think of stuff you don't need, like computers, like all that stuff hasn't really inflated much. You know, you can still go out and get a decent laptop for $1,000. You can still go out and get a decent phone for like the brand new flagship phone, $2,000 or whatever, $1,500. This is Canadian pricing, by the way. All this stuff didn't really inflate, but then you go to the grocery store and you want to buy good food like steak or chicken or even vegetables, like all that shit became so expensive. But then you go in the chip aisle and you can buy like junk food, high calories, zero nutrition, and high empty calorie foods, we'll say. It's just filler, but your body can't really use any of it because it's just filler. And all that stuff stayed pretty much the same price, didn't go up much. A half a dozen donuts, for instance, is still $5, and it was $5 before. A bag of chips, well, chips did go up in price a bit because it used to be 3 for $8 at Walmart, and now it's 3 for $11. But that's only a $3 increase, $1 per bag, versus beef that used to be like $10 for 2 steaks and is now $37 for 2 steaks. That's a bit of an increase. Sean C. Farm says, it was not live here either. When I was watching the woman fight, my buddy in BC was watching Tyson fight at the same time. That's a big delay. So you're saying the Mike Tyson fight wasn't live? That's brutal. I thought it was live because I was chatting with, who was I chatting with in the UK? Oh yeah, I was chatting with my friend Freya in the UK, and I messaged her and said, hey, are you watching this abysmal fight? And she's like, yeah, I set an alarm to wake up for it. I'm like, why would you have to set an alarm to wake up for it? And she's like, well, what time do you think it is? What time do you think the fight started? I said 8 p.m. She's like, it started at 1 a.m. here. And I'm like, so it is live? Oh, wow. And I'm like, you're gonna stay up till 4 o'clock in the morning to watch this? And she's like, yeah. And I'm like, well, right on. So she actually went to bed, woke up just to watch the fight, go back to bed. So, and Bulldog Badger also told me, he's comments on the videos. There's probably a comment of his in here somewhere that he also had to stay up till 1 a.m. to watch the fight. So yeah, if I was in the UK or somewhere where the time zone was that different, I think I would have just waited and streamed it the next day, because it's not like it's going to change, and the quality would have been a lot better too. So, yep. Jessica S 2379 says, my parents are Costco members. I have seen a pack of 3 steaks for $70. Holy shit. You would think at Costco, because you already got to buy the $50 membership, that they wouldn't jack the price like that. Oh yeah, certain stores have you donate to charity. Costco is massive for that, and Walmart too. Costco even makes you want to donate to charity after billing you for a freaking membership. Brutal. Also, who the hell can afford a Tesla? My dad's brother's daughter's husband, so that'd be like cousin-in-law, has one, and the payments are ridiculous. Well, seeing how the cheapest Tesla in Canada right now, I believe, is about $100,000. I could be wrong on that. Let me just pull up a quick little Google search here. Tesla.ca. What is the cheapest car you guys offer? They don't even tell you the price right on the page. That is so dumb. Is the Model 3 that's the cheapest? Let me just go to inventory. A brand new Model S. I think that's like the fast one. For a Model S, all they have is like the plaid version. An all-wheel drive is $104,000. So yeah, the Model S all-wheel drive is $107,000. Like, they got different pricing on them, probably different things. The Model 3 is $70,000 for an all-wheel drive demo vehicle with 4,724 kilometers on it already. This is inventory type new from Barrie, the closest dealership we have. $70,000, and they all have mileage on them. They all have anywhere from 800 kilometers to 4,000 kilometers already on them. The Model X, what is that? Oh, the Model X is $150,000. Sack of that fist. Who can afford that? And the Model Y is $66,000. Huh. I just realized something funny. Model S, Model 3, Model X, Model Y. That spells sexy. But yeah, that's way too expensive. So even at that price, you're probably looking at like, well, it says right here, for the Model Y at $66,000, estimated financing is $1,239 a month. That's stupid. Like, you would have to make serious bank to be able to afford that. And then you got to charge it, maintain it. I don't know what there is to maintain on these things. I don't think they need oil changes because the motors are built right into the wheel hub. I don't know, man. I don't know. Not worth it. Mike Rosing 8202 says, man, you need a 2-car garage. Yes, I do. I could totally benefit from a 2-car garage that's double deep, so I can bring the car in and something else in. Like, I can't put the boat in the garage because literally the 20-foot tarp garage that I have out there, the motor touches the back window, the back wall, and the tongue of the trailer touches the front. When I have the Trans Am in the garage, the bumper is pretty much pressed up against the back wall. There's a little bit of room for me to get through, and I have enough room behind the car to put the snowblower before the garage door closes. So yeah, I could definitely use a double wide, double long garage. So that would give me a lot more room to play out there in the winter and stuff. 40 Rock says, we get weekly recycling and bi-weekly garbage pickup. Also, bi-weekly large item pickup as long as you call it in or use the app. The bi-weekly garbage sucks. See, right now, because I live alone and I'm the only one producing garbage, and a lot of the stuff I eat comes in recyclable containers, like the meat now all comes in these like plastic recyclable containers. All that goes in blue bin. Our blue bin is every other week, and I fill my blue box now more than I did before, because before everything came with styrofoam packaging, which ended up in the garbage, which means every week I put my garbage out. I literally, this week I put my garbage out, next week I'll put my blue box out. The week after I put my garbage out, the week after I put my blue box out. I never put my garbage out 2 weeks back to back, and we have garbage every week. I don't produce enough garbage to warrant it. Now, there are families around here that do. I'm not saying it should change because it's just me. I'm just saying that for me, I could easily be on a two-week period for garbage pickup because I just don't produce that much. But like my neighbors, I see them put out like 2 cans. Sometimes he'll come over to me and be like, hey, are you putting out garbage this week? And I'll be like, no. And he's like, do you mind if I put a bag at the end of your driveway? I said, give her. Go ahead. Because we're only allowed 2 bags per week. So if you have 3 bags, you can try and put it out. If the garbage dicks are nice, they might take it, but they don't have to. They're not obliged to. Speaking of Bulldog Badger says, also just a total off-topic thought. If you put the boat in the garage and Dirty Bird in the tarp garage, would that mean the boat gives you more space in the garage, or is the footprint of the boat the same, similar to the Dirty Bird? I just actually covered this on the 2-car garage one. The boat is narrower than Dirty Bird? No. Yes. Maybe. Probably not. I don't think so. But I think the boat is narrower, but the problem is with the tongue on the trailer, because it's not a store-bought trailer, it's a DIY trailer, the tongue is longer, and because of that, it won't fit in the garage completely. I wouldn't have any room in there for the snowblower in the winter to have it parked, be able to quickly grab it and do the driveway. I did try that when I had the boat in there. I did try bringing the boat all the way back in, and the tongue was like, when you close the door, it was just clipping the door. So I was like, holy shit, like this is bad. But yeah, the boat is, it's a 16-foot boat, but with the trailer, it's pretty much 20 feet long. Like the tongue adds an extra 4.5 feet on it, and it gets in the way, which is why in the tarp garage, the boat is touching the back wall and the tongue is touching the front wall, which is why the boat garage is in the state it's in. You'll see that in an upcoming video. Steve Phillip 1159 says, or Stephen Phillip, sorry for messing up your name, 19 or 11. Wow, I should just stop talking. Round 3, fight. Stephen Phillip 1159 says, it cost China $10 to make that iPhone. Is the crazy part. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Apple's still using Foxconn, and I'm pretty sure Trump's going to tariff the shit out of them unless they bring back manufacturing to the USA. But yeah, it definitely doesn't, definitely don't pay much for labor at Foxconn. I think the kids there, and I say that because there's been video of Foxconn where they do employ young children and pay them for equivalent to $4 a day, not an hour, a day. But then again, a lot of those Asian countries are like that. Like, look at the Philippines. People work at a convenience store and they make like $2.75 US a day, working at like a Circle K type convenience store selling snacks and pop and all that all day for somebody else. They get equivalent to like $2.75, $3 a day. So you wonder why call center jobs are so important over there? It's because those call center jobs are being hired on by Canadian and US companies where we are paying them like $4 an hour. So instead of making $4 a day, they're making $4 an hour, which goes a long way over there because the price of shit over there is pretty cheap. Berserk says, got my phone upgrade option in October, chose the 256 gig version of the iPhone 15, loving it. It might be an option for you to consider with the deals to be had since the 16 is out. You can use the USB-C on it for attaching external storage if needed. I can't go back to iPhone. Everything in my house is Android. Like my TVs are Android. I'm sticking Android. I am due for an upgrade 2 years ago, sorry. My phone has been off the contract for 2 years now. And I don't believe in replacing a device just because the contract is up. I don't believe in making a perfectly good device e-waste just because the corporation that you get your service from gives you the ability. I understand if your phone was old and having troubles and you wanted to get a new one, whatever, that's cool. But yeah, and I can't go iPhone. I have an iPhone for work. I got the iPhone 14 for work, and I just don't like the interface. Cameras on it to take good video, but in the end, I really don't like the operating system. FX Cause says it's not daylight savings time, it's now standard time. I only found this out this year. Daylight savings is from spring to fall. Yes, that is correct. Spring to fall is when we boost. I think we spring ahead, so we move the time ahead an hour, and then in the fall we fall back an hour into standard time. I just wish we could spring ahead and hold, because I don't know about you guys, but does it feel like it's getting darker earlier this year than it did last year? Like the sun is setting sooner. Like I could have sworn that at 5 o'clock it wasn't pitch black, and now it's like it's 5 o'clock, and like when I'm driving to martial arts, it's pitch black out. Because in the winter, like in January of 2021, I would go ice fishing. 5 o'clock would hit, I'd start packing up my gear. The sun would be low, but it wouldn't be out. And now it feels like the sun is long gone at 5 o'clock. Like the earth is like doing an extra little tilty action, and the sun is just not playing anymore. I don't know. Let me know. J. Gubby says, have you ever been to the South River Dam? It's really beautiful in the fall. Actually, yes, I fished that dam back in 2022 with my ex and hooked on to what felt like a pike, and it broke me off. It snapped my line. I was using the Zebco bullet with a spoon type wide shanked hook with a worm on it, and it got annihilated. That is a nice place though. Very nice location to fish. So yeah, I've definitely been there. And guys, that is all we got for commenting on comments. So hopefully you enjoyed this week's episode of Commenting on Comments. As you probably heard in the background, it had a little bit of music, so figured it would kind of break the monotony of the no sound, or like just kind of bring a little vibe to the video. We'll see how that goes. Anyway guys, thanks for watching, all that stuff. Don't forget to leave comments. If I forgot your comment and didn't comment on it, I'm sorry. Anyway guys, until next time, peace, break out. Sit, stupid, sit. Good dog.